Cleveland, wake up, because we just got hit with the news we all feared as the sun rose over the lake today. I am shaking right now because the vibes were so high at OTAs, and then, out of nowhere, silence fell over the grass. We are chasing 3,000 subscribers here, and we need every single member of this tribe to stand together right now. Drop your city below and join the family, because we are building something legendary despite the chaos now. This news changes the entire landscape of our defensive line before the pads even go on today. All right, let's get straight to the heart of this nightmare, because our own Mike Hall Jr. was just helped off the practice field by the training staff. I am talking about a situation where the air just gets sucked right out of the building. Nick Padone was there on the ground at OTAs today, and he reported the sight that every Browns fan dreads seeing. Mike Hall Jr. was walking off with trainers, and the most terrifying part of the report is that he could not put much weight, if any weight at all, on his right leg. Just think about that for a second. It is May 27, 2026. And we are already holding our breath over one of our most promising young anchors on that defensive interior. Mike Hall Jr. was supposed to be the guy that took that massive leap this season after showing us so much growth last year. We saw him grinding, we saw him putting in the work to become a focal point of this rotation, and now we are left wondering if the season is in jeopardy before June even arrives. The medical staff is going to check him out further, but the visual of him needing help to even move is enough to keep any real fan awake at night. You have to feel for him because he has been working his tail off to prove he belongs in that starting conversation. Can you imagine the frustration he is feeling right now while being helped into the facility? This is the kind of news that tests the depth of a roster and the heart of a city. We need Mike Hall Jr. healthy because he is the spark plug that keeps that rotation moving when the starters need a breather. What do you think of this situation? Does this make you nervous about our depth, or do you trust the front office to have a backup plan ready? This is the reality of the NFL. But man, it hurts when it hits one of our own so early. But wait, it gets even crazier when you look at the timing of all of this. Here is the raw truth that some people might try to downplay, but we know better. Mike Hall Jr. is not just some guy on the bottom of the roster. He is a former 54th overall pick from the 2024 draft who has been clawing his way up the ladder. They don't want you to know how much the coaching staff was banking on his explosion this year to take the pressure off the edges. When you have a monster like Myles Garrett on the outside, you need a guy like Mike Hall Jr. to create that vertical push from the middle to make the quarterback's life a living hell. If Mike Hall Jr. is sidelined for any significant amount of time, it throws a massive wrench into the entire defensive philosophy we have been building for 2026. We are talking about a player who saw his production jump forward and was finally finding his rhythm in this system. The sheer intensity he brings to the field is something you cannot just replace with a street free agent or a late-round flyer. This injury feels like a punch to the gut because it happens right when the momentum was building. I am losing my mind thinking about the possibilities if this is a long-term ligament issue. The team has 10 practices scheduled before the mandatory minicamp in June, and every single one of those reps is gold for a young player. Mike Hall Jr. needs these snaps to solidify his spot as the primary rotational tackle behind Malik Collins and Mason Graham. If he is stuck in the training room instead of on the grass, he is losing ground in a league that waits for nobody. It is a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and the music just stopped for one of our favorites. We have to stay positive, but the weight of this news is heavy on the Dawg Pound today. Now we have to talk about the competition because the NFL is a cold business. While Mike Hall Jr. is fighting to get back on his feet, guys like Kalia Davis and Aiden Huntington are smelling blood in the water. This is the brutal side of the game that we don't always like to talk about, but it is the reality of the locker room. These guys are friends, sure, but they are also fighting for the same piece of bread. If Mike Hall Jr. is out, those snaps are up for grabs, and someone else is going to step into that light. It is a redemption arc for some, and a nightmare for others. I have an insider feeling that the coaching staff was really looking to see Mike Hall Jr. challenge for even more significant time this year, because his tape from last season was legitimate. He had that sack in his rookie year, and then bumped up the pressure even more with 1.5 sacks last year. He was trending toward becoming a household name in Cleveland. Seriously, imagine the stress of being in that position and having your body betray you during a non-contact drill. It is the ultimate test of mental toughness, and we know Mike Hall Jr. has the grit to get through it. But the clock is ticking. The depth chart currently has him as the go-to guy, but that chart is written in pencil, not ink. If he can't get back by June, the narrative starts to shift toward who can fill the void instead of how he can dominate. We are seeing the true test of our defensive line depth right now, and it is terrifying. I want to believe it is just a minor tweak or a bad cramp, but when a trainer has to help you off, you know it is serious. This team has to stay focused because the AFC North does not care about our injuries. They are coming for us regardless of who is lining up at tackle. Unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. I am sitting here trying to process how one practice can change the mood of an entire offseason. 1 minute we are dreaming of a top-tier defense, and the next, we are refreshing our feeds for medical updates on Mike Hall Jr. and his right leg. It is enough to make you crazy. Let's slow down and look at the secret theory that some of us are whispering about. Is it possible that the workload from his jump in production last year put too much strain on him too early? Or is this just the bad luck that seems to follow the Browns sometimes? Honestly, I am losing my mind here because Mike Hall Jr. is such a critical piece of the puzzle. When he is on, he is a wrecking ball that makes everyone around him better. He allows the linebackers to roam free, and he makes the secondary's job so much easier. Without that interior presence, the whole house of cards starts to shake. We need to see that explosive first step again. We need to see him chasing down Caleb Williams like he did last December. That image of him in the backfield is what we should be talking about, not a trainer holding him up. The medical staff is likely going to recommend a very slow ramp-up period, even if the news is relatively good. They cannot afford to let a minor issue become a season-ending catastrophe. We are only 10 practices away from the mandatory minicamp, and every second counts for the development of this young star. It is a high-wire act, and right now we are all watching with our eyes half closed. I hope the organization is being extra cautious because Mike Hall Jr. is the future of this defensive front. We have seen what happens when we lose key contributors in the trenches, and it is not a pretty picture. We have to keep the faith that he will be back stronger than ever because his journey is just getting started in Cleveland. So, where does this leave us as we look toward the 2026 season? It leaves us in a place of fierce determination and unwavering support for our guys. We are a tribe that has seen everything, and we do not break. Whether Mike Hall Jr. is back on the field tomorrow or he has a longer road to travel, we stand behind him. This defense is still going to be a force to be reckoned with because that is the Cleveland way. We take the hits, we feel the pain, and then we get right back up and fight harder. I want to see your fire in the comments right now because this is where we prove who we are as a fan base. Is Mike Hall Jr. going to be the breakout star we know he can be despite this setback? Are we going to see this defense dominate the league, or are you worried that these early injuries are a sign of things to come? I want the soul of the Dawg Pound to erupt in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts, tell me your theories, and tell me if you think we have the depth to survive this. We are pushing for that 3,000 subscriber milestone, and it is your passion that fuels this entire channel. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, because we are going to be tracking every single update on Mike Hall Jr. and the rest of the squad all summer long. This is our year to prove the doubters wrong, and it starts with every single one of us staying locked in. No matter what happens on that practice field, we are one team and one family. We are going to weather this storm together and come out the other side ready to hunt. The road to the championship is never easy, and it always has bumps along the way, but we are built for this. Stay loud, stay proud, and never let anyone tell you this team isn't ready for greatness. We are Cleveland, and we are coming for everything Dawg Pound.